Hello, my name is Mckenzie W. James, Senior Plumbing Inspector with the City of Portland, and today we are in a single family home, and we're going to just talk about a couple of previous topics we have talked about before, like drainage pipings inside the walls and ceilings of a home, and water piping inside the walls of a home. In previous episodes, we have talked about drainage piping and water piping inside the walls, and here we have a perfect example of the type of drainage pipe used here is ABS piping, and it's inside the wall, as well as the Aquapex piping with the straps. So if we looked at the piping, we have ABS drainage pipe with the mid-story guide. All it is, it's a strap that's wrapped around the pipe. It's made of plastic and it's nailed on either ends of the pipe, and what it does is stabilizes the pipe from moving. And then we have the Aquapex piping, which is strapped about every 32 inches with what's called talon straps, and that is supported, and you can see it runs along the ceiling, and it then tying to a branch line of a bigger water pipe. Okay, here we are inside of a bathroom, and we're looking at the roughing for a lav, which is sometimes referred to as a as a sink, not a kitchen sink, a lav, a bathroom sink. And here again, you see the plumber have installed mid-story guides, and we have the water piping hot and cold, and it's got to be supported. It's supported with straps, what we call a talon straps, and on the stub out, it's copper tubing. They try to have the stub outs in the copper tubing with copper because it's more rigid, and so that's the reason for stubbing out the copper tubing. So on the final installation, when they install the stop, then it would be more rigid and stable inside the cabinet of the vanity. And if we go on over, we have here a tub. It's what's called it's a soaker tub. It has a platform, and in our previous episodes you have seen we talked about what's called a thermostatic mixing valve. It is pressure balancing, and at the point of use, this type of valve is necessary because it prevents thermal shock. That way, in case someone flushes the toilet and someone is in the shower, then they won't get scald or burn. So this valve, it is a pressure balancing valve. And we look up top where the shower head is. This is usually supported, so people regulating the shower head, that it's secure to something stable. Lower level of this home, which is actually a daylight basement, and in the ceiling there are pipes from the floor above, and in looking at the pipes in the ceiling, we have ABS piping, and then we have the PEX water piping. And in one of a previous episode, one of our inspectors, Marcus Mania, he mentioned about the close proximity, the clearance of our PEX water piping to the recessed can lights. And here's a perfect example of that. The PEX is supposed to have a clearance of 12 inches from the can light, or they have to have that pipe protected. The Upper North Company of PEX piping recommend that you use some type of pipe insulation. And here, if you look closely, you can see that the plumber has installed the pipe insulation, which is not now a code violation. So this is a good example of the clearances of PEX piping and the fix if it's less than 12 inches that Marcus Mania spoke about in our previous episode. And you can see the PEX piping is up in between the floor joists, and the drainage piping goes along, and they're using the right type of drainage fittings, the long radius fittings for drains coming from the vertical point to the horizontal. And also over here it's the same, long radius fittings required from horizontal to horizontal. And then you come on down and you see what we talked about in previous episode, a drainage stack. It's called a sole stack, and it goes down into the concrete, and out to where the septic tank system is. In this particular house where we are, there's no public sewer, so they have a septic tank system. We are in a utility room in the basement, and what I want to point out is there are two different type of pipe materials, water pipe materials that's coming into this house. This particular house is out in the country, and they're using they have a well. They're not using public water. But here, if you look, you can see where the PEX piping comes into through the foundation wall, and an approved sealant is used, and then it's transitioned to CPVC piping. And there is a transition fitting, adapter fitting from the CPVC with a brass fitting connect to another brass fitting that's then connected to the CPVC. And here is the main shut-off valve for this dwelling unit, and this installation will meet code. So we get a chance here to see, look at two different pipes in the home, PEX piping and CPVC piping. Okay, this bathroom has a shower. They're using a receptor, PVC plastic shower receptor. Some homes you're going to, they have a built-up shower, but this particular shower is made out of fiberglass, and it's a pretty big shower. It looks as if it's about 4 feet, and here's what you just call shower receptor, shower pan. Later on, they'll come in and sheetrock the walls and then tile the walls, and then we have here a pressure balancing valve, and that's a must. You must have a pressure balancing valve, thermostatic mixing valve. It's a safety device.